Have you been out recruiting all week, or have you spent time with the team?
I haven't seen most of the guys I haven't seen since Sunday. I saw a couple of them that came by on Monday, and then I left and didn't get back till after midnight last night. So I haven't seen. Like I say, I think I saw a couple of them Monday, just coming by the office, going by the locker room. So we had Monday off, if I remember right, and Tuesday, Thursday we did running, shoot. Wednesday was off, and then today.
Were there any glaring components of film study from Virginia?
Yeah, just not taking care of the ball early, the quality of our shots, and I think we rushed some of them, but defensively we weren't nearly as good as we needed to be. I think that neither team offensively was very good, but I think their defense was a little better than our defense was.
In the last two games, Ohio State closed 35-12. Virginia had that 16-3 run in the second half. Is there one or multiple common threads between both those runs? What went wrong with you guys?
I don't know that there's a common thread, but it's a game of basketball. You're going to have a lot of weird runs. In both games, I think that we didn't handle the toughness, the pressure of a close game and being able to fight every possession. I think that we didn't handle that as well as I wanted to. And, you know, you have so many games that really every game, you have so many games that every possession is really important. You got to fight through and guard every possession, get the best shot you can get every possession. And, I don't think we did either one of those.
Coach, did you guys practice any at Carmichael this week?
We're going to practice there tomorrow. That'll be our only day we'll practice there.
What are some of your sentimental moments and memories of coaching in there?
It was just a great place to coach. The enthusiasm, the noise, it was a tremendous home court advantage, which is what I liked. And you may have heard the story. And Coach Smith said to the staff, he said, "Is there anything you guys want in this new building?" And my reaction was, I want the closest seat in the Smith Center, to be just like the closest seat was in Carmichael. And he said, "We'll go measure." And so I did, and came back and gave it to him. And supposedly that's what they did. So, but I just, it was just the enthusiasm, the noise factor, the attention from the crowd was just off the charts.
You remember the last regular season game there?
Was that state?
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember Valdano made the last basket and made such a big deal out of it?
Yeah, if I'd known that, I'd run over and block the sucker. Nobody knew he was going to do that, but I thought it was great for Jimmy.
Is this something
I
that
could have
you,
blocked his shot.
Yes.
We were both old, but I was younger, I think, at that time.
is this something that you'd like to see continue maybe once a season, or?
I don't know. I mean, you guys, there's so many things that go into it. You know, the season ticket holders and not getting games, and I mean, not getting in there necessarily. There's no simple answer to it. Clint and I talked about it for years about having a game in there, but you know, this building's used for a lot. I mean, we got a graduation going on here. We had a lunch in there today, so it's graduation Sunday. Is it the same time we're playing?
2 o'clock there.
2 o'clock. Okay, so it's, but we've talked about it. There's no huge plan to do anything like that I know of anyway.
Would you like to see that, though? Would you play one a year?
No, I don't think you can, guys. I mean, you know, you're paying a lot of money to have seats, and but there's a lot of things to consider. I mean, budget-wise, did we get some sponsors to help this? Is this questions I shouldn't even freaking ask?
Let's just keep talking about basketball.
Yeah. You know, seriously, guys, I mean, you got 21,750. You don't have to be a nuclear scientist to figure out, okay, we're gonna let 7,000 of you watch this game. It's you know, today's college athletic world, you need money.
Is there anything else about that last game against State that you remember? Anything else that stands out besides Valdano's last shot?
Yeah, Coach Smith, we came back out and waved at the crowd and thanked the crowd. That's what I remember.
Coach, how nice is it to have Jeremiah Francis and Anthony Harris now available, just trying different things offensively?
The guys, they played 2 days last week. I have no idea. I put them in the game just because I ticked off. And it's, you know, as a coach, you do some things that are sound fundamentally, sometimes you do things by the seat of your pants, but they, neither one have worked with the first group at all. And, but I've been thrilled, absolutely thrilled with how hard they've worked in the weight room to get their knees ready to go out there and participate. But we were talking about 2 days of practice, full court, so I don't know, I mean, we were screwing it up, so why don't we stay doing the same thing? Let's give somebody else an opportunity to screw it up.
When those two went in, Cole moved off the ball a little bit. Is that something that you're interested in seeing more of, or what value does that kind of have in playing him off the ball?
Guys, y'all making too big a thing. I don't even know who the heck was in the game then. Did I take him, did I leave Cole in? So, seriously, I was just, my wife doesn't like me to say, but I was pissed off. Oh, Jesus Christ. And so, I have no idea. They've practiced 2 days. Okay, and it'd be like you practice in 2 days. I'd probably know how much talent you had, I guess. But, it wouldn't be great, but seriously, 2 days, and in the 2 days that they went full court, and I'm just guessing here, they probably did 25% of the possessions. I mean, because for Jeremiah, for example, on the white team, it was Smith, parentheses, Ohans, parentheses, there you go, Francis, so they got 1/3 of the possessions. So it was just trying to get, and then I did want to get them to see what it felt like in game action, but it's the kind of thing, if things aren't going well, you know, usually I try to do something.
Is this part of the?
But I hope that, to answer the question one way, I hope it gives me a lot of opportunities to try a lot of things. I mean, we've got, practice, we got 18 guys, and normally we have 9 or 10 that are capable of practicing, right? It's about the way it's been the whole season.
It's not February or March. Is this part of the growing pains when you've got so many new parts moving into positions?
Yeah, it is, but I think that the number of injuries have been much higher than what we've had in the past. And then the other thing that, as I said earlier, I maybe said it in the summer, is that I love playing a difficult schedule, and this one, really difficult schedules, matched up with one of the most inexperienced teams we've had. And I don't like the fact that we've lost these games, but those guys on the other side have been pretty good too. But part of it is what you go through every year, yeah.
You've been pretty open with your frustration level at times. Is there anything about this team that's really surprised you in a positive way, or that you really like about it, that just getting kind of overlooked because of all the gloom and doom?
Yeah, you know, because they're really good kids, and I enjoy them. I enjoy practicing, but I think that I do have expectations, and if you're going to be successful, you need to play with a high level of intensity and a high level of efficiency. And I haven't been able to get them to either one of those. That's been the frustration level. You know, now, yeah, everybody can say, well, you're not making a shot, but still, there's been a lot of frustration trying to get them, and that's harder to get young guys. It's harder to do that with even old guys unless they've done it before. And Garrison's the only guy that has really stepped out there and done those kind of things. You know, we have B-Rob and Andrew and Leakey who've played some, but they've never been pushed out, and where win or loses depends on how they play. And so getting them to understand, you know, come on guys, you got to get your level of play to here, and you've got to maintain it. So that's been the biggest frustration. But Armando's toughness coming back from the injury, his ankle was big. I mean, it wasn't, you know, they didn't put any jello or anything in there. It was big, and for him to bounce back, I love that. Garrison trying to help Armando along has been something that's been really good. But we're playing new guys, and then we're also playing with Christian and Justin, new guys into our system who have played before, who had habits, who played a certain way, and we're trying to get them to change and play a little differently and against a higher level of competition. So there's no question, and it probably has been doom and gloom, but that's the way I felt a lot of times too. But there's been more frustration level than there has been. But you know, you go back to the Notre Dame game, I mean, what Cole did in the second half was pretty pleasant. You'd like to see some more of that. And Garrison's consistency on the defensive end of the floor, and it's strange because I think probably his worst defensive game, because on the defensive end of the side, you got to finish the defense, and what that means, you have to box out. And I think it was Garrison's worst box out game of the year. And Diacate got to a lot of loose balls for them off the backboards. It's hard to say about my whole feelings because we have yet to really have what I think is going to be our team. We have yet to really have them all together. That was a long-winded, sorry answer to your question.
Speaking of Christian, he was at 18 points per game scored at College of Charleston. Of course, the level of competition is stepped up. What are the biggest challenges you've seen him face so far in this early going?
Well, again, the consistency level and the talent level that he's playing every day, it's different. The talent level he's playing in practice every day, but the talent level he's playing in the games, it's been a big-time challenge for he adjusts them both. You know, their numbers from William & Mary and Charleston Southern, not like what their numbers are here, but again, it's, as far as I know, it's not Christmas yet, so we still got some season left for those guys to get better too.
Roy, back in October at one of the media days, you noted that this team potentially could struggle to score,
Mhm.
at least at that time it was. But as you mentioned here, you've had injuries, the schedule, I think you played 4 top 10 teams the last 2 weeks. Are we making too big of a deal about the scoring issues? Is it part of the process?
You know, that's a good question because I've asked myself that. I mean, a lot of teams play good schedules, and we've played really good schedules in the past. I think our last 4 years, I think we're number 1, number 6, number 1, something like that with strength of schedule. But this is by far the most difficult schedule. I mean, guys, you can say, oh, we played 4 ranked teams. We played 4 that are in the top 10, and there's a difference. With each one of those little groupings that you go down, there's a tremendous difference. And I don't know to answer your question because I've been more frustrated perhaps maybe not thinking enough about, hey, what I say all the time, that other team's got a chance to play too. But mine is more just, before a little bit for Luke's, it's my frustration has been more just do what I tell you to do. If the other guy's better, he's better. If he's bigger, stronger, faster, or whatever, but just do what I tell you to do. So that's been the frustration level with me, but it remains to be seen. Like I said, it's not Christmas yet, and we've still hopefully got a lot of basketball left to play. I'm not ready to run the flag up or anything like that. We're still going to practice probably 65 more times, so I'm not going to give up and still go to practice every day for sure.
I think you said back in October that Leakey was an X factor for this team.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he in that process right now? And does it matter
Hurt.
1 or 2 things happening and everything kind of falls in place?
All I can say, guys, is he hadn't been healthy yet. It's hard to play the game when you're hurt. And, I've taken him out of 3 or 4 games. I don't know how other to say it other than the fact that we still haven't seen Leakey healthy yet. And I think if he does get healthy in my lifetime, I think he'll be a better basketball player than he has been so far.
Statistically speaking, this team looks kind of similar, just on paper, to 2014 in the sense that you had one guy who could really shoot, Marcus, a couple of young big men who were coming through, James Michael had, like Garrison, kind of knew what he was doing, and then you had a bunch of young guys. JP Tokido kind of like Brandon in terms of being asked to do something he hadn't done before. Have you noticed any similarities between those 2 groups, or had that come to mind previously?
It hadn't come to mind at all. And when you're talking 14, I'm trying to remember who all was on the 14 team.
I tried to throw out as many names
You
as I
did
could.
give me a bunch of names there too, because I was trying to remember, was Reggie had gone, is that correct?
Yeah.
Reggie was not on that team.
That was Isaiah and Kennedy's freshman year.
Oh,
Leslie was on that team.
And Leslie was on that team.
Leslie McDonald was on that team.
And Nate Britt's freshman.
You know, Leslie as a senior came through a couple of big times for us, 21 I think here against Duke in the senior game. But there were a few more guys probably that team that had played, but I'll look at it and see. But I answer your question, I hadn't thought about that bunch at all. But one thing that I know is with that bunch, so that was Marcus's junior year? Sophomore year. And I remember telling you guys that I thought he was really going to be good, and I thought he did end up being a great college player. And even his sophomore year, he was that security blanket, and I knew he was going to do some things right.
He was an All-American in all ACC that year.
Yeah.
Bro, you mentioned your frustration. How are the guys handling all this? Are they motivated to get better? Are they equally as frustrated? How have they been
Oh,
handling?
there's no way kids are ever going to be as frustrated as a coach is. Jesus Christ, after the game, they're wondering what kind of pizza they're going to eat. I'm wondering what the hell went on during the game. But I'm sure they're frustrated with 3 losses, and I'm sure they're frustrated with the way they've played sometimes. But don't dwell on it, just get better. Just get better. That's all it is. And it's, kids put in as much attention to detail and study as the coaches did, they'd be a lot better. But that's not the world we live in, and it's not any condemnation towards them. I mean, they got class going on, they've got some other things going on, they got girlfriends or hopeful girlfriends, and parents talking to them. I've said many times, Jared Hass came closer to me than any player I've ever coached, because he truly hurt, and it hurt for a long time. And we lost you when he didn't play well. And most of the time, kids, they get over it the first 38 seconds.
Anybody else?
Coach, there was the talk of Cole's leadership in the preseason. What have you seen now in game situations that kind of punctuates what you thought in the preseason?
Well, his leadership has still been more by example. He's not one of those guys that talks a lot. He says, "Come on, guys, everybody in here." But he set an example through the preseason by doing by far the best job in conditioning program, every test we did, and the whole thing. And during the games, he's competitive as he can be. He thinks he can make every shot. I'd say I want his shooting percentage to go up, so I've got to get him to trust everybody else more, trust what's going to happen, and not take it upon himself to try to do too much. I think that's probably the biggest problem he's having right now, is he feels like he's got to do more and trying more things, but he's still, I think Garrison, and they're working on it right now for the entire first 9 games. There's no question Garrison, grade-wise, has been our best defender, but I think Cole's probably second. And some other guys ought to be mad, because I think Armando might be third. And so some of those older guys should be mad that they're not playing better themselves on the defensive end of the court, too.
Most of us have somebody more experienced or talented that we can talk to when things aren't going well, but who do you talk to in a situation when you're trying to figure it out?
Oh, my staff. When I was a younger coach, I would talk to Eddie Fogler and Coach Smith. Coach Guthridge a lot more. But now I talk to my staff. I'm not afraid. Last week I had a great conversation about some things with Larry Brown. I'm not afraid to talk to Mark Few or Tommy Izzo or Lon Kruger, those guys, because I trust them so much. I'll talk to Mark after our game next week. We'll both have a good conversation about what we think of each other's club. Tony Bennett and I exchanged some things after the game. We agree, what's going on, but I don't have those kind of people that I had early on, but I trust Steve Robinson. He's been with me 25 years. He knows what's going on even more than Coach Smith were. If Coach Smith were still here, because he's there every day too.
So how crucial was it to have a guy like Eddie Fogler?
Pardon?
How crucial was it to have a guy like Eddie Fogler and others early in your career?
Well, Eddie taught me so much during the 8 years we were together. It was incredible, and I'm not a guy to call people and talk on the phone 100 times a year or anything like that, except prospects, and I don't even like calling them. But Eddie's like a brother to me. Eddie and I talked basketball a couple of times and have this season. Eddie's been to a couple of practices, but he's been great for me, one of my mentors, and shared so much with me, particularly during those 8 years. When you become a head coach, when Steve, for example, Steve Robinson was head coach, we'd talk once every 2 or 3 weeks. You're busy. You don't just call a guy up and what'd you have for dinner kind of thing. It's if you have a question, if you have something, you call them, but they got problems and things of their own. I've called CB, I've spoken to Jared, but I'm the worst guy in the world on the phone, guys, because I hate it. I'd rather get on an airplane and fly 5 hours and go in and nod at you as you leave to go off the floor, because I can't see you play, and I had to get on the freaking phone one time. When you talk to kids nowadays, they're holding it like that because they're doing something with their hands, and so they're not paying attention to what the crap you're saying.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll get